Welcome to My Dad's Story. Thanks for taking the time for being here today, Jermaine. Appreciate that a lot. All
No
right, let's
problem.
get into this, all right?
Let's do it.
Jermaine he's a son, a father, and a husband.
Yes.
He's a third generational military veteran, and he went to Mississippi State University, Dallas Christian College, and Liberty University. And we'll get into the rest of this here in a little bit here, but
All right.
where were you born?
I was born in Hollandale, Mississippi.
Okay, whereabouts is that? Where I would
Hollandale,
know.
Mississippi is a small town in between Glen Allen, Mississippi, and Greenville, Mississippi. The significance of both is my mother, we lived in Greenville, Mississippi.
Okay.
My mother's from Glen Allen, Mississippi. So her doctor was in Hollandale, Mississippi.
Okay.
So even though she lived in Greenville, her doctor still was in Glen Allen, Mississippi, in Hollandale, Mississippi. So that's why she ended up having me in the hospital in Hollandale, Mississippi, where her doctor resided.
Greenville,
Mississippi,
is
yes.
like a home of like a jazz or what?
Blues.
Blues, that's
yes,
right.
The Mississippi
blues.
Delta.
Mississippi Delta,
Mississippi
right.
Delta, and we have the annual blues festival there every year during September time.
Right.
Yes,
right.
the Delta is the home of the blues.
Right.
From Clarksdale, Mississippi, all the way down.
The whole
Delta.
I think my wife and I actually went there and spent a night in the hotel. There's some hotel downtown that's really a nice one.
In what city?
In Greenville.
In Greenville?
Yeah.
Oh man, you've been in my hometown?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys visit any of the casinos, anything? At one
We
point, we had
didn't
like
do
3
that.
casinos right there downtown over the
really?
levee.
No.
You know that levee was built in the early 1900s because of the flooding they was having. They flooded the whole city. The whole city was flooded. I want to say 1920-ish, around in that time. Yeah, so they had to build a levee because of the Mississippi River right there, and
That's
it flooded the whole downtown area.
Yeah.
So some parts of the downtown area had cobblestone.
Yeah.
Help for the draining of the water and things like that.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did notice that. We took a walk on there. There's some famous restaurant or something like there that good.
Oh, did you guys go to Doe's? Is it Doe's?
Maybe.
It's Does. They have famous for steaks and tamales and things like that. It's like a little small white building.
Right.
Not real fancy or anything like
Right.
that, but it's
This
a
one
real
wasn't
famous.
fancy. Yeah.
It's called
but
Doe's.
it was like a really good. Yeah.
That's probably it.
Yeah,
That probably was
interesting.
Doe's.
Yeah,
That's
it
what
was
we're
a good
known for.
time, and it was like, yeah. Now the trip to Greenville was different for me because growing up in Oklahoma, I had never seen that part. So you grew up in Greenville your whole life?
Yes, I grew up in Greenville my whole life. Basically lived in the same house the whole time and everything. Didn't move. We didn't do it at all that like how we do now. People move every
Right.
few years and things like that. No, I live right there in the same home. My mom purchased her first home that she purchased all by herself right out of high school.
Right.
She worked as a short order cook on a riverboat.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like after 2 years of working, she decided she saw a home where she was like what they did back in the day was like lease rooms in people's homes back in the day.
Right.
So she was leasing a room in this elderly lady's home, and she was just walking, and she noticed the home they was building this duplex, and she noticed it was building, and she decided like, hey, let me go put in for this home or whatever, and she actually got the home. So that's the house I grew up in my whole life. So it was no moving around. I didn't go anywhere. It's the same house the whole time.
So do you have
And literally to this day, we still have that house. Well,
Awesome.
actually, we just had the house demolished, but we still own the land.
Okay.
Yeah, we just had the house demolished because my mom hadn't been living in the house since, I would say, the early 2000s. She moved in with me back in 2000, I would say 2001.
Okay.
Yeah, she moved with me when I was in Harker Heights. That's when I was in the Army.
Did you have you still have did you have the marks where how high you were getting the marks on how your
Yeah,
height
we
and
actually
stuff on the
we
house?
actually did all that, but like I said, the house is demolished
Well,
now.
of course, yeah.
Yeah, we had all that. My mom, she had 2 kids, and she adopted my cousin.
Okay.
So she adopted, so it was 3 of us. We all like 6 years apart. My older sister Valerie is 6 years older than me, and I'm 6 years older than my younger sister.
Right. Nice.
So yeah, we all grew up there. Yeah, that was my early childhood. That same home. My parents lived in the house together for a while until the divorce, things like that. My parents got divorced when I think it was 5th grade.
5th grade. Okay.
Yeah, and from that point, when I was in 5th grade, it was just my mom, myself, and my older sister and my younger sister. Kind of assumed the role of the man of the house somewhat. So I was real young.
Yeah.
On that role, I don't know, just trying to make sure everyone was taken care of. I don't know. You always felt that responsibility. I don't know why I felt that, but I don't know. It's the only male in the house. You took assume that role, and gosh, it was yeah. It was a lot at first, you know.
How you said you're in the fifth grade?
I was in the fifth grade.
That would make you what?
I was like
10,
11.
11 years
11,
old?
yeah, 11 years old, 10, 11, around that time.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was 10, 11 around at that time. And my dad, after the was that he always lived within, it was funny because he always lived within a 1 mile radius of where we was at.
Mm-hmm.
So he was always just around. But definitely had a more closer relationship with my mother.
Right.
Because she's the one, the actual primary caretaker who took care of us and things like that.
And how did your mom and dad meet?
Oh, my parents met. Like I said, my mom was always working. She had multiple jobs all the time. So my mom was 25, my dad was 21, and they was out dancing. And she met him out, and they talked for a while, and actually I think they broke up and got back together or something like that.
Yeah.
She got pregnant, they got married. Then I was born after that.
Right. 6 years later now.
Yeah, I was born. Yeah, I was born after that. My older sister is my mom's child from a previous relationship.
Okay.
So she already had her.
Okay.
So she's my half sister. So I already had her.
So you were
I was the second child she had,
right.
or whatever. So yeah.
So you were, and forgive me, because
You're fine.
you were the first between your mom and your dad. You were the first.
Yes.
Okay.
Of their union.
Right. The only.
Yeah. The only.
The only.
Yeah. She had an older. My older sister was from a previous relationship.
Right.
Or whatever. And her and my father got together. They got married, and they had me.
Right.
And my younger sister is actually my cousin, which is my mom's.
Right. Gotcha.
My mom's brother's daughter.
What was it like growing up? So Greenville is your hometown.
Yes.
What was it like growing up there?
Small town in the South. Growing up in the 80s. Growing up in the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
How was it? It wasn't very diversified. I mean, it's not like living in a place where, like living here in the Dallas area and all that, where there's a lot of diversity or anything like that. I live in a black community. We weren't the richest people. We come from very humble, meager beginnings,
Right.
So everyone around me was black. I really didn't see a lot of people of any kind of nationality, or white or Asian or anything.
Right.
The only Asian friend I had, her parents owned a local like shop and go type corner store. Like I knew her, and everyone else was black. I mean, really, any other people that I would interact with that were any of the different races, you had to go out to like the retail stores or the little local mall we had or something like that.
Right.
So it was real like close knit or whatever, and you kind of closed out from a lot of different, I guess, experiences that people would, especially kids, will have right now. It was real like it wasn't a lot. You didn't see a lot of differences, and you didn't see a lot of things to aspire to be or inspire to be. Like mostly everyone in a small town worked in factories and plants and things like that. You didn't see like people that look like you that were like doctors or lawyers or anything like that. Even school teachers. Like as I got older, I did see school teachers that I possibly could emulate to be look like me, but mostly it was like here and there that were black teachers and things like that. But it was just I guess I would say if I had a guidance from my mother who was always telling me, yo, you can do whatever you want. There's no one or anything or experience that's better than you. Whatever you want to be, you can aspire to be that with just hard work. She never gave me that crutch of you're a young black man growing up in the South.
Right.
This is your excuse to not aspire to be anything. It was never like that. Like you could be whatever you want to be every day. She showed it to me. She took me out of my regular environment and drove me places. I remember like we'll leave, drive across the bridge to Arkansas, and she'd take me to these huge neighborhoods, these big houses and things like that. Like, cause like again for me, like we didn't have internet, all that stuff wasn't invented then.
Right.
So you never really saw it. You only saw your surroundings. You know?
Right.
And my surroundings wasn't like the things that would make you want to do anything else. So she'd take us across the bridge, take us to like rich neighborhoods and show us these huge houses and things just so I can see in my head that these things are attainable. You know, if you don't see it, you can't believe it. And you don't believe it, you don't try to achieve it, you know?
Right.
So she showed me these things and said, hey, you can have this too. This is not unattainable. This is what the rest of the world is this is going on in the rest of the world. This is what the rest of the world looks like.
Right.
Things like that.
Wow, she sounds like a great lady.
She was. She still is.
Yeah, yeah.
She is.
So friends, sports, high school, what do you
High
got?
school, oh man. High school I played sports. Junior high I played football. Junior high I was like defensive line player and also running back. And high school I went out for football, but I was just as a running back, I was just as big as the guys that was blocking for me. It was a small 4A school or whatever. But I did play baseball. Baseball was my passion. I guess that's good at it, but I was passionate about it, you know?
Right.
So I played baseball. Actually, out of high school, had a chance to try out for the draft and things like that, and actually got invited to a couple of leagues. It wasn't the single A and also the rookie league. So we tried for a few teams they
Right.
had, like in Dominican Republic and also in Florida. But at the time, it's like, hey, you're gonna try to chase this dream, or you're gonna go to school. And again, me coming from a small town, you saying to me Dominican Republic was
Wow,
that's Russia to me. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
you couldn't really imagine that though. Or like, hey, it's 18 years old, let's go to Florida and play ball in Florida or something like that. All these things was just so far away from my mind, or
Right.
things I actually feel like I actually could have done. I had somewhat of the talent. I was good enough, but to
What
actually,
position?
I play any outfield position. Most I play right field or left field. But my batting average overall in high school I was batting like 325, 327 in that range. The batting average was pretty good. I went the fastest and all that stuff, but hey, in baseball I ain't have to be that good or whatever. Hey, if I hit the ball far enough, I can get there. I can get there.
Very true.
I can get
It
to
was your
it.
team. Did you play just like a high school team, or there was like American Legion, or how does that work?
See how that works now with all these
Traveling
teams and
yeah.
traveling teams. We have all that, and then if we did have all that, I didn't have my family didn't have the means
Right.
for me to actually do that. I
Right.
played high school ball. I actually did get a scholarship to go to Jackson State University, which is the HBCU.
Right.
So in there lies a crossroads in my life right there. Actually, I could have took that scholarship and went to Jackson State, which is a predominantly like HBCU school. Apply for a few schools, or go to Mississippi State, which my ACT scores were high enough, and my mom wanted me to apply, so I did. We had a bet. She was like, okay, if you're that good at baseball, you could do all this stuff, you can go play there. Now, mind you, the time the school's ranked number 5 in the country,
Right.
Ron Polk, Will Clark, Rafael Palmeiro, all these great
Couple
players.
of good guys.
Yeah, came from the school or whatever. It's like, hey, if you that good, you can go get on this team. But again, the thinking like, hey, you don't know, like this team has number 1 draft picks, not 61 round draft picks. Like these guys are drafted real high. They just go to school and hang out for a minute before they go off and live their lives and things like
Right.
that. So I was like, hey, you know what? At that point in time, I was so confident from like where I was raised and things like that. I never felt like I couldn't do anything.
Right.
So I was like, hey, you're right. So if they accept me, I go and I try, walk on, do whatever we got to do. Actually, I did. And the reason why she didn't, she wanted me to go to a PWI, which is a predominantly white institution, was because she wanted me to get a more world view of the world. As you know, as the black community, I'm like only like 11 to 12% of the whole nation. So for me to just be around just black people or my own race and things like that, I'm not getting a realistic view of the world.
Right.
As you can know, when you get out in the world, for me, when I got in the world, if I'm in any kind of business or I'm doing anything like that, I'm gonna there's 2 or 3 black people that's in this place. She didn't want me to get in place in a situation where I'm nervous or have anxiety about being around what's in the world. And also she wanted to get my leg up to be able to succeed in the world, in the new world that I'm gonna be stepping in within the next few years. She don't give me false sense of hope. She wanted me to know this is what the world is. And if you're gonna compete and be productive in this world, these are the people and things you have to be around and to be able to progress around and be able to deal with and live your life with and be able to socialize and get the things you want out of life without always thinking, hey, I have the confines of just this, because it's an unrealistic view of what the world is in my small
Right.
hometown.
Right.
So I come out, I got accepted to Mississippi State. And she was
Starkville?
Like, Starkville,
Okay.
Stark Vegas, baby. And she was like, hey, that's where we're going. You there, and no matter what the cost is, just go there. I went there, tried out for the team. Didn't make the team, but I did make the practice team. So I did practice with the guys and stuff like that, and I felt pretty good about it. Hey,
Yeah.
I could make it the next year or whatever. That never materialized. So after that, that dream of playing, I got a little older, got kind of jaded on the idea because after a while, it's not always just about talent. It's also about who you know and people having better options and meal plans and
Right.
coaches and things like that. I just went in a position, I guess, to really compete for it. Kind of lost the heart for it.
Right.
After a while. Yeah.
Right.
So I went to Mississippi State for a few years, and because in the beginning I was in the National Guard. So let's backtrack. So before I went to the college, got enrolled in the National Guard.
Okay.
I got in the local National Guard. My dad actually was a master sergeant in the same unit.
All
So
right.
he was like, hey, why don't you just go to the Army, go to the Army. It was always Army, pushing the Army. Because again, my grandfather was in the Army. Then my father was in the Army. My father was in Vietnam.
Okay.
So I got in the National Guard, went to school, did that. I got to school. School was great. Pledged. I was a fraternity, just running around school, just having a good time as a young kid. Like, can you imagine coming from a small town, then going to like a major university like that?
Right.
The experiences of life and the sense of freedom that you felt of just being away from home and, I don't know, just being out on your own that first taste of freedom and being with friends and, like I said, pledging. It was a lot. And I embellish. I had a great time. So, and after a while, I was like, hey, I'm in school now 2 years. I'm still credits on the way the credits need to be at the time. So like, hey, what are you doing there now, man? Would you go to the Army now? Or something like that. It's like, all right, maybe that's not a bad idea.
Right.
Let's go to the Army. So I decided to join the military, and I went full-time military. And at the time when I was in the National Guard, I was my MOS, which your job, I was like 19 kilo, which was a tanker. So when I went to basic training, I went to Fort Knox in Kentucky, where all the gold is supposed to be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, went there for basic training, and when I decided to go back in, I decided to go back in as a financial specialist. So I had to reclassify for as doing which we call the school AIT training school, which I went to South Carolina for that, and from there I went to Fort Hood.
Okay.
Then I was stationed here in Fort Hood in the Texas area, and I was stationed there for like, it was like right at 4.5 years. Right at 5 years, because I did a 6-month deployment to Bosnia. Yeah, literally, the morning of 9/11, I was in a board, because you would, like, when you're in the military, in the Army, you would go to different boards and stuff to get your points up to go up in rank and stuff like that. So I would go to boards regularly, get my points up, because I made rank real fast. Actually, the reason why I got a military, because I would have to wait an additional 3 years to get my next rank, and I didn't want to wait that long, because I was making rank very fast. But the morning of 9/11, I was actually in the board, and my master sergeant and commander and everything was there, and it was like, hey, we get this phone call, hey, we're going to be out of here soon, so just let you guys know. So right after that, we was put on call, and I spent like 48 hours, like 2 days and some hours, just in a hangar, just waiting for orders to see where we were going to go at the time.
What to do? Yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't actually get deployed. We didn't get deployed. My unit didn't get deployed.
Right.
I guess other units did get deployed and things like that, so we didn't go anywhere.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're flying past. I got some questions now.
Yeah, I'm so.
No, you're doing great. All right. So let's go back to your. You went to Starkville, which is how much bigger than Greenville? I mean,
town-wise, similar size,
right?
But the amount of people is different. Like at the school, when I was going at Mississippi State, it was like 20-something thousand students at the time at that school, and also now you're talking also the city around it, so you're kind of somewhat engulfed in all of that.
Right.
So it was a major difference. A major difference from you got to think in Greenville, like even the town is population-wise was I think at one point it was like the 4th or 5th largest in the state, but for its land and the people, the interaction was smaller, because like pretty much you stay within a few mile radius. Your neighborhood, like 9 or 10 blocks.
Right.
Basically in there. Yeah, and that's it. You don't really do anything. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So you don't really do anything like that. But then we dropped in Starkville. I'm like interacting and doing everything, just living life, doing everything without limitations. Because I didn't know the limitations. Because I was already told there's no limitations, so let's do it. I was within my parents' limitations in Greenwood.
All right, so your mom sounds fascinating and awesome.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about her. Where was she born at?
Oh, she was born in Glen Allen. Awesome. Good question. My mother was born in Glen Allen, Mississippi, 1948. Deep South.
Okay.
Parents were sharecroppers.
Her parents were sharecroppers.
Her parents were sharecroppers. She was the first child of 18 children. My grandmother had 18 kids.
They wanted a baseball team plus.
Plus. Yeah. Like, seriously, they had a big family. Not everyone survived. Out of all the kids, I think 5 of her siblings passed in younger age, because back then, for prenatal care and all those things weren't very prevalent. And I had an aunt that passed because she was, there was a fireplace and the house caught on fire and stuff like that. So I guess nutrition, like 5 other kids didn't make it. So I still had like 13 siblings still survived or whatever. But she was the oldest, so she had to take care of all the siblings. At age of 5 or 6, she told me she was actually taking care of her own brothers and sisters, actually cooking and all kind of things. Life was different back then. I mean, they were actually taking on responsibility because my grandmother and my grandfather were all out in the fields, working in the fields. So someone had to take care of the kids, and they was having kids every year, basically. Like, my mom was like, every year it was like a kid. She was every time she took her mom, she used to hate it, like, oh my God, you pregnant again, type of thing. Because she knew she was going to take care of the house. So as the other ones got older, then they would, go help out. But because she was always that like motherly figure for everyone, she was always kind of stuck with that responsibility. I had a couple aunts who was like, hey, their first real like winter jacket or something like that was from my mom. My mom purchased it for them because she was the oldest, and she really took on that motherly role. I think when she said she was 16, 17, she finally was able to, she moved out of her parents' home and moved with my grandparents, which her grandparents, which they lived like a little bit more poor, I guess we'd say the city part of Glen Allen, if you could say that, because it was a real small country town. Her grandmother, she moved in with a grandmother. Her grandmother, she lived like, I guess like the main strip right there, right off that. And she went to high school living with her. And she got involved with a lot of different things. And being in high school, another fun fact, another person that was growing up around the same time was Talbert. He's a famous author who wrote the book Once Upon a Time When We Were Colored, and some other books, which that adaptation was turned into a movie, I think in the 90s, the late 90s or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so the book was basically about life growing up in Deep South Mississippi and in Glen Allen, Mississippi.
Glen Allen?
Yeah, and he was, I think he was more like a few years older than her, maybe 3 or 4, but she knew of him and everything like that. So when all those books and things came, she was like, hey, I went to school with this guy and stuff like that. So some of his literature and things like that kind of reflect of life in Glen Allen, Mississippi.
Glen Allen, definitely.
Yes, and then, like growing up for them.
So when did she have time for her iPad and to watch her own shows? She didn't seem like she was too busy to do that all the time.
Fortunately, at that time, I don't even think they really had TVs that much. They used to listen to everything on radios and stuff like that in the 50s. And like I said, she was born in the late 40s.
Right.
She was an activist. She was involved in that, in registration of black voters and things like that. They would make like trinkets and bracelets and necklaces and combs with the right on sign and things like that on. And they would bus people to Greenville, Mississippi, which was like the next major city for people to vote. And because of that, one time in Cleveland, Mississippi, they were caged into like some fencing and water hosed down and sprayed, and there was a cross burned in my grandmother's yard at one point in time. She told us about that. Was it because she was an activist, or was it just because she was because she was an activist trying to get black people to vote? Right, and it was a warning. And it was a warning from like the Klan. Right. Yeah, they burned a cross in my grandmother's yard. Yeah, there was Deep South Mississippi in a real small town.
That would have been in the early 60s maybe. Or...
that was in the early 60s. It was. Yep, when that happened. That's when she was in high school. Yeah. So that's when that happened. So early to mid 60s, around that time.
So how did she get that passion?
If you know my mother's a real, she's a feisty woman. She's what she believes in, and she believes in it strongly and passionately. Uh, Again, that hey, don't let your circumstances make you. You make your own circumstances type person. That's what I learned all those things from her. She never was one to just, hey, this is what my life is, and that's just it. She was, no, let's take these lemons and make some lemonade, make some Arnold Palmer's and something like that. That's the type of person she is. So if she believed in something and she felt like something was wrong, she stood up for it.
Right.
A lot of that, I feel like I have in myself, so to say, because I know when Texas switched over to, I think, the delegation type system for its elections and things like that. I was a delegate in 2008. I did a speech at the local schools. I did a speech at SMU. I did a speech at the Texas National Convention down in Austin at one point or whatever. So I have a lot of that zest and fire for just, I don't know, if you see something wrong, let's try to fix it. If you feel like you can fix something and you have a better way, let's try to do that. And if you don't do it, who else is going to do it? So let's not sit around and wait for someone else to fix some problems that we have. You can fix them yourself. Right. You don't need no one else to help take care of your own family. Right. You take care of your own family type thing.
Right.
And that's why I have a lot of passion for is that. Actually do want to, before I leave here, leave my mark on the world, on at least the United States, by write some type of policy. Actually, I went back to school. Actually, I'm in school now. I just started last year, taking some political policy classes because I want to write policy, something that will be a lasting impression, something that I can leave behind when I pass.
Right.
My way of helping in some type of way,
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm not getting off the mom
You're
thing.
fine.
She sounds amazing.
You're fine.
So she had all the reasons and excuses to just say, I'm blaming somebody else.
Yeah, basically this world sucks.
Right.
Let me just
and
quit.
She sounded like she said, nope.
No, she fought through.
Right.
She fought through, and she made sure you raised us with the same type of zest for life, the same type of, hey, again, these circumstances don't make you. Every day telling me I could do whatever I wanted to do.
Right.
It was like, was a words of affirmation before it was famous. So before people talked about things like that, I got daily affirmations every day from my mother. I got them without even knowing it, without even wanting it. But it was always,
just
hey, you're great.
Ingrained in you.
Yeah, I have a self-confidence that's unmatched, and will to live, and a will and a determination that won't stop. I mean, I'm incredibly resilient. Right. A lot of different things, and just a never die type mentality,
So tell me about your dad. Where was he born at then?
My dad was born in Drew, Mississippi.
Drew, Mississippi.
Yeah,
that's how far away from Greenville.
It's not that far.
Okay.
Nothing in Mississippi is really far. In those small towns like that. That's just really far. Yeah, it can be no more than like an hour, maybe an hour and a half apart.
Okay.
But they met in Greenville, Mississippi.
Right.
All right. So
dancing.
Yeah. So my dad grew up in Drew, Mississippi. His parents did a little sharecropping, but they really weren't sharecroppers. His father was in the military, as I said, and also my grandfather was a sheriff, one of the first black sheriffs in Mississippi. Period.
Okay.
Not just Drew, Mississippi, but the Mississippi period. Yeah, so he was a sheriff in Drew, Mississippi as well.
Okay.
So some of that, that I don't know, community type service as well type of thing came from that side as well. As you know, I was in the military, and I do want someone give back to my community as well.
Right.
So that, I don't know, military and law enforcement type of attitude.
So your grandfather was in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Was World War II or?
Actually, yeah.
During
that time, he didn't actually go to a war thing because when he was in the military, they really wouldn't let black soldiers participate in things like that.
Right. Okay.
So it was more like they will always have them in a training type, ready to go type of situation.
Right.
So when you do hear about the soldiers, black soldiers that was like in World War I or World War II, things like that, these people it wasn't many of them that were sent to places. And if they were sent, it really wasn't, they wasn't on the battlefields, they was doing other things, or they was back at home working in the factories, building things or stuff, something like that, where they really actually just went into action.
Right.
There are a few units that were active in those wars and things like that, but unfortunately, he didn't get a chance to make those.
Okay.
Like
And
that.
then is your dad have brothers, sisters?
Yes, my dad had 6 siblings.
Okay.
They didn't have a lot of kids, like 6,
Rookies.
still a lot, but
Yeah.
nothing compared to 18 kids or anything like that. He had 6 siblings. My grandfather, I think he was having a lot of, I would say, mental issues, depression and things like that.
Right.
Because a lot of things he was trying to do or whatever, he's kind of held back, but constantly pushing against the grain. As you can see, he was a somewhat successful
Right.
black man at the time. You could think he was in
Yeah.
the military and also was a sheriff
Right.
or whatever. My grandparents didn't stay together long, and actually, my grandmother left the home, and my grandfather raised my dad and his siblings.
Okay.
So he was mostly raised by his father. So hence, he has this very real tough exterior. Like we really wasn't really at his emotional intelligence wasn't always there. Maturity, I was emotional. Maturity wasn't there because it wasn't a, hey son, I love you, a hug. And I never heard any of that when I was growing up from my father. I think the first time I heard I love you from my father was when I graduated basic training. You know, not in my graduation.
Right.
Like I graduated from high school. Way to go, buddy.
Yeah.
When I graduated from basic training, man, you know I love you. You know what I'm saying? He was that type of
Right.
military, real hard-nosed type guy, you know?
Right.
Very, not very emotional. Not very, we don't like, right, even now he doesn't really talk that much.
Right.
We'll say a few words. I know they mean something to him to do
Right.
those few words or whatever. Say a few words to you and it means life for him, but he doesn't really, not really emotional.
Did you say he went through the Vietnam War?
He was in Vietnam.
Okay.
He did make it to Vietnam. He made it to the Vietnam War. He was there for a few years. I think 2 years when he was telling me.
Oh, wow.
I think he was there for like 2 years. And the stuff he probably saw was a lot too.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the mental competencies, I would say most everyone would have. I think he was lacking a lot of things, depression and things he saw or things he went through, because he's a short fused type of person as well. And I just think there's a lot of stuff he went through. I would say this, how we are now, we can identify mental issues a little bit easier. We actually get checked out. We want more self-help and things like that. In my community, going to a therapist or a shrink or something like that was very taboo. We didn't do those things. So I think he suffered a lot of mental depression. He needed help. But again, the community I'm from is not like a thing that's well talked about or done. Like most people who have mental issues or problems, they just weren't seen. They wouldn't, hey, this is my child with this mental disability type of thing. No, you just wasn't seen or nothing's wrong with him. They just acting crazy or something like that. No one was really given a chance to get the medical help that they needed.
Right.
Or even seeked out the medical help that they needed or even felt confident enough to even do that. So he suffered a lot of the same issues that I think my grandfather suffered from as well. Being men, so that's why they really don't talk that much. Huh?
Does that scare you? That grandfather, father?
Not so much scare me. I am aware of it,
Okay.
and I'm already on my own journey
Right.
of mental health. A lot of things I deal with stem from a lot of things
Right.
that I deal with being young. Even from the point of when my parents divorced, I always felt like I had to be the man of the house or worried about, hey, make sure no one breaks in the house. Or
Right.
like I used to, like as a kid, think about how many different ways someone can break in the house to make sure I can protect us from it. At that age, I shouldn't have been thinking about
Right.
those type of things and having that type of weight on me. So I think about that. Also, I never really was shown how to be an emotional leader of a family. So a lot of these things I had to seek out and deal with through trial and error. Making sure I'm not being harder than myself to my own daughter. I have a little girl, and I refuse to have her feel any kind of way about me where she can ever come to me or I'm now making her feel as loved as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely my son. I have a 11-year-old son as well. My daughter's 9, my son's now 11. I wouldn't want him to ever feel that way. So because of them, I am more aware of my emotional intelligence and also the toxic masculinity
Mm-hmm.
for us with my wife and my kids. I'm more aware of it. And I've done things to try to help myself. I was a victim of it, just trying to keep it to myself, keep it to myself, keep it to myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been married now for going on 17 years, and in the beginning of the marriage, it was rough. Just trying to make sure the communication part was. So a lot of that stems from that. Make sure I was able to communicate it, make sure I'm not being so closed off. Because my philosophy is always, I'm not gonna do or try to do anything or handle anything without me being able to just take care of myself. I never really, you want a partner, but I never really grasped the concept of being in a partnership in the totality of it.
Right.
Like, hey, we are in this together. Because always in my mind, I was like, it's just me. And I never want to do anything that I just can't take care of, so it's just me. So it was struggles.
Right.
But
So a husband and a wife communication problem. That's so unique. Not at all. Just joking.
not at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah, but I had a lot of issues that was actually still blocking me from it as well. Because like I said, I didn't have like healthy role models of things to see. So I've been working through those issues myself as well. And actually, I do see a therapist.
Right.
I'm in therapy. I see a therapist
Right.
twice a month, just get things off my chest, leave myself to get things off my mind, talk to someone else that's somewhat of an unbiased
Right.
factor in my life, and to make sure I don't have those same pitfalls or I don't fall into that way, because it's so easy for me just to disconnect, even though I am the life of the party, but it's easy for me to disconnect.
Right.
I mean, I could just not talk to people for months and just be like that. So I don't want to actually be like my past examples, which I said I have those examples.
Right.
And because of those examples, I'm very aware of things. I'm trying to make sure I'm not like that.
What's your relationship now with your dad? What's it like now?
My relationship with my dad right now is, just a relationship. I mean, it's been set. I'm not gonna get all of that extra emotional stuff, but as he's got older, he's more of a I love you too type of guy now. But it's more like hey, just want to make more like somewhat of a caretaker as well, because he has a lot of issues. So I'm constantly driving to check on him. He lives in Olive Branch, Mississippi, which is right outside of Memphis, making sure he's all right. Like simple things like going to the doctor. He's a veteran, so just take him to the VA, going to the doctor, doing things like he's supposed to do. He won't go to his appointments. He won't do this. He won't do that. So it's my stepmother is great at trying to get him to do things, but she's a woman, and I have two stepsisters. Two sisters that are great. Like one of my sisters is a doctor, and the other sister works in medical field as well. But he can like rah yell at them and scare them. But it's like with me, I'm like, hey man, let's go. Whatever you want to yell back and forth, we can do this. But you're going to the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna do this. Like he's having a lot of problems, and a lot of his problems also stem from alcoholism, which is another thing I try to watch, because he drinks a lot and his kidneys are failing, all kind of issues like that. 3 years ago, someone tried to rob him. He was visiting his sister in Greenville, Mississippi. Someone tried to rob him. Young man tried to rob him. So he stabbed him like 3 times. Stabbed him in his heart and stabbed him in his stomach twice. So he was in the hospital for like a month and a half after that. And, he has a colostomy bag, and his heart has a hole in it. They had to sew that up. A lot of health issues deriving from that as well. This guy's pretty hard to kill. He's stubborn as heck.
Yeah,
stubborn as heck. I was like, he like 70, 71 when it happened.
3 times?
Yeah, and I was like,
7.
why you just didn't give him the keys, Dad? He was like, I didn't hear him. I said, yeah, right, you heard this guy. Just give him the keys, man. Like that type of thing. But yeah, he's stubborn. He's stubborn. He's a stubborn guy. So hence what I was telling you about that emotional part. He's just real stubborn guy.
So you're
To his own detriment.
right. True. You kind of are. You said you were kind of the man of the family because your dad was within range, but he wasn't there.
No, he wasn't in the household.
Right.
Yeah.
So you were kind of, your sister You're not
Yeah.
your older sister still, or just your younger brother? Or
My
cousin?
younger sister.
Okay.
Yeah. To like everyone in the house at the time that was in the house, I always feel like somewhat the protector.
Right.
Even older.
And
to
protective
younger
of your
sister.
mom at the time too?
My mother and my two sisters.
And so now you're kind of protective of your dad and your mom
Yeah.
still?
Yeah, pretty much because my dad, like I said, I go and make sure he's going to the doctor, and my mom actually lives with me now.
Right.
She moved with me last year. She suffered from dementia, Alzheimer's, and
Right.
things like that. She was living by herself. She got to the point where she really can't live by herself. So I moved her to me so I can make sure I look out for her and take care of her.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't really know how many years I have left with her, so I wanted to make sure she's being taken care of the correct way.
Right.
I didn't want to put her in a home or anything like that.
Right.
So I'm trying to pretty much take care of her home.
A little payback for all the time she raised you up.
I guess you could say that, boy.
Yeah.
It's my mom, and I want to make sure I take care of my mom. So I don't really, really nothing for me. I don't really need anything from her besides I know make sure I'm taking care of her.
So you said you I gotta go back to you said you were in a fraternity.
Yes.
All right, I got it. I hear fraternity stories a lot. What do you got for me? What fraternity first of all?
A fraternity I play is a Kappa Alpha Psi
Okay.
Incorporated.
All right.
Yeah.
And
I'm having wild stories that I want to talk about this.
Yeah. Right.
Like I would say it was for me being at the university I was at, it was more like a congregate. We was able to congregate with people that look like me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's a black fraternity.
Right. And
being in a fraternity, being at a school with 20,000 plus and only like 1,300 black students. It was like a place of solitude, congregate with people that kind of look like you,
right.
That you can kind of like decompress with. They're like, oh, you going through this? Yes, I'm going through this as well, type of thing.
Right.
And yeah, so it was fun. We did pledged. It was great. We did community service as well. We did that as well.
He says with a
it was
laugh.
just like, hey, it was just a brotherhood in that going through, and they went through some of the things that you were going through at the same time, which kind of made us real close.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Shout out to the bros.
Who is Jermaine when he's by himself? When you all by yourself, which you probably never get to be.
Gosh.
But if you were,
just by myself.
Who are you?
By myself. It's gonna be calm because I'm a real high energy guy. So it's gonna be a calm time. I could be introverted. I could just sit there, just have peace of mind because usually my mind is going 100 miles per hour.
Yeah.
So it is good to be able to just decompress and just be to myself. I could just sit there and, I don't know, watch some what's that show my wife got me hooked on, 90 Day Fiancés and stuff like that. I can sit there and watch some 90 Day Fiancés and eat a sandwich or something and just try to just decompress.
Where would be your peaceful place to go? Mountains, a lake, by yourself? Where would it be?
My peaceful place to go would be just anywhere on water. I don't know if you know this, Bobby, but my retirement plan is to get a boat and just live on my boat on the water and just travel. Something big enough where I can do that, maybe a 54-foot, something like
Right.
a kilo boat. Yeah. Yeah, I like to just relax and do that. So my peaceful place is like that, on the water, on a boat, just me and myself.
Why the passion for water? I mean, I
don't know.
didn't look
It's
up
something
Greenville,
about
but how close is
calming.
that to the ocean? Not at all.
Nowhere near the ocean, but we have a river. The Mississippi River is right there.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, I literally, as a younger, ride my bike and just go up to the levee and just look at the water. Yeah. So I mean, literally, just ride up the levee, park your bike, and just gaze off into the river and stuff, and just look at the water. I'm seeing the boats coming in, the barges going back and forth. You know, so like how when you go to an airport, you're like, oh, I wonder where this plane's going and things
Right.
like that.
That's true.
I'm right there on the water, like, hey, wonder where these barges are going to after they leave here, where they going to next, and things
Right.
like that. Yeah. So I mean, water has always been like a people calming place for me. So yeah, I kind of want to retire on a boat and just be on my boat.
Right. That'd
Yeah.
be nice, man. All right. I'll go back a little bit too. So you were in the military,
Yes.
and for how long?
I was in the military for 5 years.
5 years.
Mhm.
Wow.
Because of the 6-month deployment. I went to Bosnia for
Right.
6 months.
What was that like?
Oh, a lot of long nights. Like I was finance, so I was in the rear. But a lot of people get confused, like, how are you in the safest spot? Most of the time, if someone, a strategical, tactical ambush, something's gonna happen, it's gonna happen in the rear. You're not fighting the people that's in front of you.
Right.
You're gonna fight the people that's in the rear.
Right.
You're gonna try to shut down the services like food services, financial services, and things like that. Because once you kill the people from up front, hey, you take away their food, you take away their finances and things like that, they don't want to fight no more. So it was nerve-wracking because you never know what was going to happen. We was like at a camp, like made up buildings and trailers and dirt and like concrete little roads or little pathways you walk on and stuff like that. It was just a lot of long hours and paid missions and stuff like that. The most excitement, I would say, we did, we incurred some gunshots over a mountain. Besides that, I can literally see the bullets bounce off the concrete and stuff. And the only part of that was like when you work in finance, you really didn't have a weapon. You had guards.
Mhm.
So not being able to defend your own self is kind of like, come on, my whole life is in this guy hand to do something to make sure you get the people that's shooting at us or
Right.
whatever, not like that. So that was kind of nerve-wracking, just never knowing, like, because we were like a smaller camp, like what was going to happen if they're going to try to come back through here, or what's going to happen there at night, because you'll hear all kind of noise and things like that. But we was on a peace mission, so besides that, it was okay. Just long hours, long nights, 12-hour work days. I did multiple times count over $1 million in my hand, over a couple times. But
wow.
besides that, just long hours.
Yeah.
Ready to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Why were we in Bosnia?
We was on Bosnia for a couple different reasons. They were, so like when they went to Iraq in 91, 92 time, first they had the Shield, then they had the other one that actually did the fighting part. And we was in Bosnia more like I think it was like stabilizing the area type missions. Basically having a presence in the area in Bosnia. And a few little skirmishes happened, so we had camp there.
Was it exciting for you compared to where you were just like every day in the military? Was that like, hey, good, at least we're doing something?
Yes and no. I mean, I really didn't do anything. I mean, we was just there on paid missions.
Right.
We were supporting the soldiers that was there. So in that part, yes, I'm actually out in the field. I'm supporting the soldiers and kind of issues they had. We would set up like a booth and they come and talk to them about things they need. Casual pays. These like payments we'll give the soldiers and get out of their regular pay when they need them, like right now, changing financial designations and stuff for them, for their families back at home and things like that, to make sure we just service them correct. So that was good. Actually got real life experience, all the things you were trained to do and things like that. Then besides that, it was just like a regular job, to be honest with you. I mean, you just went in, the days were just longer, you know. Really didn't venture off the camp that much or whatever. So like experience a new culture. I can't say I really did that because we just pretty much stayed at camp or whatever, not that, whatever. But servicing soldiers and just being there for them, actually, because when they were there, out there and stuff like that was fulfilling.
How long was basic? You said your father, after you finished basic, said, I love you, but how long was basic?
Basic training for me for 19 kilo at the time, which is a tanker. I think it was like 10 weeks.
10 weeks. What was that like?
10 weeks. It's just fun. I mean, I was young, so I was like 19 or something.
Right.
So we just like running and hanging out, and I didn't really feel like the sense of being nervous about basic training and all that stuff never really. It didn't bother me because my dad was in the military and I dealt with him every day, and my dad was still in the National Guard. So I pretty much had like a crash course all at a younger age. So people yelling at me didn't bother me at all. So I don't know if it's normal or not, but it didn't bother me. So like, yeah, okay. Like I was just never like I never had real anxiety about none of that stuff. I knew what they was doing. I had all this conversation with my father, so I already knew what was going on. I knew what they was doing and all that stuff. So it was just falling in line and make sure everyone was falling in line. I was a squad leader, so it was.
So
it
you
just
being a leader, I didn't see that happening again.
oh
Go
yeah,
ahead.
I'm vocal.
No, I know. I was like, you're always a leader.
I'm a vocal person.
Yeah.
So, but besides that, it was fun for me.
Yeah.
It was like 10 weeks away. Got paid to do it. Hey, it was like my first like real paychecks and stuff at 19. Like that was awesome. Besides working at McDonald's, I was in high school. I worked at McDonald's, but I didn't really work that much or whatever.
So
But
when was Mississippi State? Before military or after military?
Mississippi State was doing because when I first went to
Right,
military, I
National
was in National Guard.
Right.
Yeah, so I went the summer of
And your
going
dad
to
was in
going to
charge.
my freshman year.
Right.
Yeah, so like what they call a split ops, where I was doing basic training one summer, then the next summer I was supposed to go to AIT for the job. So what I did, I went to basic training first, and the next summer I was going to go to AIT for it. So I went to Fort Knox, like before I went to college.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then you was getting paid, and I did it like once a month, and the 2 weekends out of summer. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, having your own money.
So now you're out of the military. Then where you go?
All right. Are we talking about after college, then after military?
Okay, so college, military,
So-
and then right after military, where'd you go after that?
Or after the military, I was here. After I got out of the military, I had all plans to move into Austin, but I ended up staying in the Dallas area. I got a job with a company as a sales rep, and they was like, hey, we'll wait for you for 3 months till you finish, when you ACAP out, when you get out of the military, call it ACAPing.
Right.
So I had like 3 months before I finished up because I still had time in or whatever. So I was like, that's cool. So at that point, I got a job at a company in Duncanville as a sales rep,
Right.
a company called Centos.
Okay.
So I did that for a few years. I kind of felt icky about doing it because, you know, you doing sales, you kind of like forcing people to add more things to their account, and you have to make numbers and you make money off people. So you had the commission, and it's, I don't know, it's like I felt dirty, like a
Right.
line of people like, you need this, and I really don't need it, like whatever. Like you had the small mom and pop like garages and stuff, and you had to do a percentages of your account, had to grow yearly or quarterly and stuff like that. So I don't know, I did that for like 2 years afterwards, and I was like, I just can't. It just wasn't me.
Right.
Yeah, and then I went to retail management. I was a general manager at U-Haul, which was like the 6th largest one in the country at the time. I was there for like a year and something. Maybe it just went around from there, from this retail management, loss prevention manager, assistant manager at Lowe's, stuff, things like that. And from that point, I started working with the federal government, worked in finance and accounting. That's what I do now.
So where does accounting come from? I mean, you was in the military. Where does accounting come from?
Numbers. I like numbers.
You do?
Yeah, I'm good with numbers.
Oh.
So, yeah, always science, math, the only 2 things that pretty much are constant on all types of standardized tests and stuff. I always knew that. So I made sure I excelled in those 2 subjects. So I was pretty good at math, and it's a job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What if it
So
came
it's like
easy to you? Yeah.
Yeah, it came pretty easy, and that's what I do now.
Okay. What's a story your mom never found out about? Like when you were growing up, or like in high school, or even college. What's a story that your mom never found out about?
I would say when I was in the army, I didn't tell her I went to Bosnia.
Okay.
Yeah, because my mom would worry.
Oh yeah.
Worry, man. She would be worried about this, that. She would be calling me constantly. I didn't want her to worry about things like that because she worries.
Right.
I mean, when I first left home, like I would talk to my mom multiple times a day. I mean, she literally multiple times a day, and she was worried about this, that. If I would tell her, hey, well, I went to Afghanistan first, then I went to Bosnia, and she was watching things like that on the news, I just didn't want to deal with it. So when I did talk to her, I was like, hey, I'm out on assignment, I'm here. Or if I'm out, like, hey, I can say I'm at an exabile, which is an exabile is like when you go out to the desert or something, you're out for a while, you're out living in a tent, things like that for a while. Things I can talk to her and stuff like that. So until I got back.
You're not gonna tell her about the bullets hitting right next to your back.
I didn't tell her about all that stuff 2 years later.
That'd be dumb.
Yeah.
How did she feel
I
that
ain't
when
gonna
you
deal with
found what you told her?
I was at the point when I told her, she was like, "Oh, okay. So you didn't tell me none of this?" I was like, "No, you didn't know." She's okay. It's over now. Hey, I'm here, safe and sound. Life's good, you know. Life's good.
So you said, okay. So now fast forward it. You said you've been married to your wife for 17 years.
Yes.
Where'd you meet?
Met my wife in Garland, Texas. We both was working at a Home Depot. I was
Okay.
loss prevention manager, and at the time she was running the front end.
Right.
So basically, I would just, I don't know, do weird stuff like watching on camera all the time. It's on camera.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we in it now. All right. So yeah. She seemed real mature. Like she used to run the front end, have cashiers, people outside, and she was just like really on it. You know, kind of was drawn to that. How she was always in charge and stuff like that. Then we just started dating from that point. It happened fast. Fast. Like we started talking. Within that time, I think 2 months in, I think I said something about, we should just get married, just jokingly or something. Then she came to my house the next day. Hey, I looked this up. We went to like the city hall or whatever. We can get married this day, do this, do that. I'm like, are you serious? Like, whatever. And like, I thought it was funny because she's not a big dresser or anything like that. She came to my house like what? I think it was like a vest on or something. I don't know, some a sweater, cardigan or something like that, or whatever. She proposed to me. Yeah, she gave me like a ring that she made and gave it to me. She proposed to me.
I'm listening.
Yeah,
Okay.
within months of us getting together, and I would say within 10 months of us meeting and start dating, we got married. And we've been together since then.
Did you ever ask her to marry you?
Yes,
All
actually.
right, all
Okay,
right, all
so
right.
after she gave me a little ring that she made with beads and crap. And, I think I still have those rings.
You should. You better.
Yeah, I think I still have those rings. Later on, before we was about to get married, of course, I only got rings and I proposed to her. I wrote a poem for her. Because she was like, the time she's like, she writes poetry and stuff like that. I'm not a real artistic type person. I'm like, hey, this is an idea I have and we do it. She's like a real artsy type person. She draws, she writes poetry, she books of poems, and all kind of things like that. Like most of the paintings in our home are paintings that she's drawn, and stuff like that. So I thought I was like, hey, I'll step out of my comfort zone and try to write her a poem or something like that. Which I wrote her a poem and then I proposed to her.
And
or whatever.
And how long was the poem? Like
That
one
was
bar, like
what y'all call sonics or something.
Oh,
Whatever. It was
too.
like, yeah, it was like 2 paragraphs.
nice.
So, yeah,
Real romantic.
I worked on
Make
it.
her cry.
I made a little something. I took stuff from here and there. I saw.
That was before AI, right?
Oh, I would have been perfect now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I took some things from here and there, like live stuff, because we used to go to listen to poetry and stuff like that a lot.
Oh, wow.
Things there.
Yeah.
We was in Austin when she wanted to go to Austin, and we'll go listen to people poems and read things. I can't think of the name you call that stuff. It was just artsy type stuff like that. Yeah.
Were you into music at all, or like growing
I'm
up
not
at
a
all?
real big music person. I would say I listen to a lot of stuff. Growing up, of course, lived from the Mississippi Delta, blues was playing all the time. So you're listening, but it was always like your parents' type music or whatever.
Right.
So growing up, R&B, country. We listened to country. My dad was a big component of country, rap music. So I just listened to a lot of different stuff.
Right.
I mean, like my dad come pick me up in his car and everything and listen to country music. Everyone thought it was corny or something.
Yeah.
Like, what your dad listen to
Are
country
we talking
music?
about old
Like,
school country, like Johnny Cash and that kind
oh,
of
like
Tammy Wynette?
yeah,
that kind of
yeah,
Oh,
that
wow.
type of stuff.
Yeah.
Willie Nelson, like old stuff like that.
Yes.
He would listen to that type of country.
Oh,
yeah.
I grew up there. Yeah.
Well, Waylon Jennings and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that. Like, yeah.
Oh.
So he would listen, but in the same token, he'll be playing rap another. So I guess my music taste is kind of eclectic, coming from that. That's like I listen
Right.
basically to everything,
Right.
something like that as well.
All right. So now
Yeah.
we're engaged.
Gage.
Where did we get married at?
Oh, I got married in, we got married in Garland. Got married in
Okay.
Garland. We got one of those chapels in Garland. It was real nice. I had like 7 groomsmen, 7.
Wow.
It was really nice. Yeah, it was like yeah, it was pretty nice. I really love that girl. Yeah. So yeah, so we went through a lot. We've been through a lot together.
Yeah.
And it was a nice
17.
beginning.
17 years sounds like a good, a good
Yes,
bond
for
time.
her, she put up with me. She put up a lot, a lot. So she put up with a lot. She, yeah, she's a good woman. I appreciate her.
Give me a couple things you really appreciate about your wife.
Patience. She has a very patient woman to deal with me all these years because I've been working through a lot of things. I'm getting there,
Right.
but she's been very patient. She's very nurturing. A lot of that. I never received any of that besides from my mom. You know, like I said, that I just really never got from anyone else. Very nurturing. And real understanding to all my big ideas. I have a lot of ideas and things that I want to do, and she was like, never sort of like how my mother would always be like, "Hey, that's what you want to do, let's do it." I never been with a partner that would always be like encouraging of the ideas and stuff, like shooting down. She's like, "Hey, go ahead. If you think you do it, write it down. Let's come with a plan." You know, like I'm the big idea person, and she's like the detail person, so it works, you know, for us.
So how awesome is that? I mean, seriously awesome is that you have a mom that says dream big, and you have a wife that says dream big, and let's work towards it. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people don't get 2 for 2 like that.
Yeah. I'm realizing that.
Yeah.
I always thought I was always on the short end of the stick of everything, you know. Then as you get older and you live and you be around other people and you hear other people's experiences and stuff like that, and that's when you can actually really appreciate the life you actually have. Because sometimes you really don't really appreciate the life you have because you always feel like you're like beating the path and trying to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's good to like realize you are there. Just try to enjoy just the life you're living.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us don't get a chance to do that. I know I really haven't just had a chance to just enjoy it until like later on in life now. The baby just sit back and like take a breath, smell the flowers, you know, and kind of live. And that's the path I'm actually like right now with the kids. I'm trying to make sure I'm involved with my kids' life as much as I can. Like I'm like involved with everything. I'm going everywhere with them. I'm doing venture camps where I'm out in the woods with my son a couple of days. Where I'm a dance dad with my daughter. She cheers and she dances. I'm trying to make sure I'm a part of all of that stuff. So I'm just trying to just enjoy life and instead of just beating the path, and life passed me by. But at the beginning, I worked so much, man, it was crazy.
Right.
I would say for 2017 to 2020, literally, I would say Corona caused me to slow down. You know, because before then I was working, and I worked a lot. Any type of extra overtime, anything they had, I was there. I mean, to the point I was buying gift presents for my kids. I brought Jackson one of those, what do you call those, helicopter flying things or whatever. Drones. Yeah, I brought a drone so he could play around in the house. And he was like 4. Like I remember the thing flew up and it was like, oh, we got those high ceilings and came down and got a gash on the head. The thing is like 12 and above because you knew you felt guilty because you was always at work. So it took Corona to slow it down for me. And then when that happened, I was able to start slowing things down. And now I'm at the point like, yo, this should and always should be the most important thing. This should be the priority first. So it took me a minute to get there. You know, I'm there now.
Right.
Family, this is the priority.
Right.
So I'm trying to make sure I make them the priority.
How long were you guys together before you had is it your son's the oldest or your daughter?
He's 11. Oh, we were married for like 6 years. We actually lived.
Right.
Yeah, we was together 6 years. I mean, we would travel like everywhere together. I mean, like every major holiday or before then, we would go places. And we really had a good time to enjoy each other because like her family is not really around. So we knew once we had kids that we was gonna have to, is it gonna be us taking care of these kids, whatever. And also I wanted to make sure I was at a point where when we had kids that she could stay at home and take care of the kids. We didn't want to have kids and have them in daycare at all.
Right.
I think it's something, when we first got married, we was watching some kind of report, it was in Chicago about these kids was at daycare and horrible stuff, you know? So it's like, so if we do have kids, it was like, could you just stay at home? And she was like, I would just stay at home if you got kids. So we got to get to that point. So when we was at that point, we decided to have kids then. So we had the 6 years and we knew once we started having kids, we wouldn't have much support taken care of because my family's not here and her family's kind of scattered.
Right.
And she don't have the best relationship with her family and stuff like that either. So it was like, okay, so once we do this, it's going to be us. And she knew she was going to have to start working and stuff like that. So that's what we did. We was 6 years into the marriage before we started having kids. And then we started having children then.
So you said
they're like 14 months apart.
Okay, okay. There
Yeah, we had them back to back.
we go. We go get going. It was your son, right?
Yes.
Jackson.
Yes.
How'd you come up with the name Jackson?
Oh, we went to like 64 names. Yeah, it was 64 names. At first I wanted a name after me, but again, I just want him pave his own path. So I didn't want a junior. I want him to pave his own path. You don't need to be me, just be you, type of thing. So my wife wanted his name to be Oliver or something like that, and I wanted Christian. And my wife was like, "Your mother can't even say Christian." So we just went down a list of 64 names and we narrowed it down to Jackson. And ironically, that name works for me because, you know, the capital of Mississippi is Jackson. Mississippi.
Right.
So that worked out. And my daughter's name is Delta Doris.
Oh, because of the Delta.
Delta, because of the Delta. I'm from the Mississippi Delta.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. Call it Delta Dawn.
I like that. I like that a lot.
You like that Delta
song?
Dawn?
Oh,
Yeah.
boy, was that on the radio all the time.
Yeah, that's her
cool.
favorite song.
Yeah.
Her favorite singer is Dolly Parton.
Really?
Yeah, her favorite singer is Dolly Parton.
Oh,
I can take this girl to Dolly World. She has everything Dolly Parton. Her last birthday party was all Dolly Parton.
that is so awesome.
Yeah, she loves Dolly Parton. So yeah.
So how did your mom feel about? Okay, so your mom, and all of a sudden there's another woman in the mix. Your wife. What does that feel like?
Oh, she actually was
Well, your voice
very
got higher when you started doing that. I like that.
Because you would think, because I've had problems with my mom in other relationships. It's been a problem before because it was always, I'm not sure about her, this and that, which she's been overly protective sometimes. But in this situation, she was willing and wanted to just be a part, but also give us our space, which was perfect. I mean, at the time, because like I said, I had other relationships and I felt like, oh, man, kind of overstepping a little bit here. But I don't know. I don't look at it as a bad thing. I guess I would say she was always just trying to look out. And those relationships that she was like that, it was always an issue. I want to say she's always right. She's not. But in those situations, she was kind of spot on with those.
Right.
So in this situation, it was I want to give you guys your space, and everything. So it was awesome. It was awesome because at the time, I was living in Garland, had a home in Garland, and my mother was living with me in the home with me in Garland. And once I got married, my mom, like, she moved out, got on the spot. That's how we ended up coming to Wiley in this area. Well, this area around here because my mom moved out in this area.
Right.
And I ended up moving this way later on.
That sounds really smart. What was the best piece of advice your parents ever gave you?
My mom always told me that my mom and my grandmother, so gotta make sure we throw my grandmother in here too. Oh, also last thing, back to the names. My wife gave my daughter, her middle name is a mixture of my grandmother's name and my mother's name. So her name is Eloise. Okay. My grandmother's name was Elvira. And my mother's name is Louise.
Oh,
so her middle name is Eloise. I would say the best advice that my grandmother used to say, and also my mother say, is God won't bless you with anything more unless you do whatever you do to the best of your ability. You want to get a job, you're not going to get a better job until you do this job. No matter what you're doing, you do it to your best ability. If you're going to be a janitor, you be the best janitor in that place. You be the janitor that they call for other janitors. So I would say a work ethic, basically. Always have a strong work ethic, and whatever you want, you can get in life by just doing your due diligence.
Your mom sounds awesome. If she ever writes a book, you got to let me know.
Yeah, I'll probably be writing it for her.
Yeah, well, you got to do what you got to do. When was a struggle in your life? It sounds like you might have had a couple of them, but when was a struggle that you really remember in your life? Or a couple.
I had a couple struggles. I'm struggling now every day, seeing my mother in the state that she's in now.
Right.
Being how big of an influence she has been in my life. Her, it's like night and day, like the person you knew, this crazy independent self-sufficient person who raised you and taught you all these values and things like that, and then you see them like almost a shell of themselves every day, you know? Because like I said, she living every day, I'm taking care of. So I'm struggling every day with that, making sure I'm trying to make sure I give her everything she needs, and making sure I'm also taking care of myself as well. My wife has been great help with that as well. I would say that's been a major struggle. Another struggle I would say is being able to be at ease. I'm always just, my mind is always going. Being able to recognize sometimes when you do need help. Because I'm never a person that asks for help. But sometimes you need help and you don't always have all the answers. And saying you need help doesn't make you weak or anything. It's just saying, hey, I need help. Anyone that's ever got anywhere in life has always had help. And I've always been under the notion that, I don't know, I always sometimes feel like everyone is out to get you. Nah, everyone's not always out to get you. You deserve help if you need help. And some mental struggles and things like that, because, hey, again, sometimes in my community you feel like you gotta be stronger than life. And I'm dealing with a lot of things every day that not everyone have to deal with. I'm not using those things as a crutch because I wasn't raised like that. My color and my experiences don't make who I am. I'm gonna succeed regardless, no matter what. But those everyday struggles, knowing that, I mean, you're gonna have to work harder. There's gonna be biases. I mean, from just basically generational wealth that you want from your family. I wasn't always afforded it. I mean, hell, the government with redlining and things like that, stopping people from having properties, African Americans from having properties and things like that, which generate generational wealth, you know, property, land, things like that, that you can pass down from family to family, member to member. We don't have that in our community. So just knowing every day, I'm going out here and I'm just dealing with a lot of different issues and I'm fighting every day. And sometimes it's tiring. And just knowing myself, knowing like, hey, listen, take a break. Take a breath, you know what I'm saying? Get back out there and fight, but go and take a breath. Make sure you're good, check on yourself, make sure you're good, and make sure you're getting the help and things you need to make sure you're sane every day. So, yeah. Outside of those, some struggles.
Those are pretty. Do you have
which
any?
I'm working on.
Right.
Coping tools. Like I say, I see a therapist. I talk to someone maybe twice a month to make sure I'm okay and to make sure I get things that's on my chest, off my chest, and
Right.
you know, have a sounding board for other things like that. And it brings on other things like I recently found out I'm suffering ADHD. Didn't even know it. Like a lot of symptoms, like you just don't know because again, you don't get diagnosed with these things. A lot of these new age things you feel like, where did this come from? We didn't have this back then. But you realize, I mean, you just wasn't being diagnosed back then. People weren't taking care of themselves or visiting doctors where they are. So I'm learning coping tools to be able to deal with the ADHD, things like that. So those things, and it stemmed from a lot of trauma and things like that. I've had childhood trauma that I had to deal with. At the age of 13, I literally struggles, talk my struggles. I literally had a best friend of mine get killed right in front of me. Like literally got shot and died right in front of me. Watching someone take their last breath at 13, nobody should have to deal with, right? Had to like deal with that and rationalize it. I wouldn't say rationalize it, or just compress it, rationalize it, deal with it, face it at such an early age to deal with that. So that's something I'm always just dealing with, you know, that type of thing. And not being able to have the right, I would say, resources or people around me to be able to deal with that, because nobody then was able to help me with something I was dealing with because they weren't able to help themselves at all. So at 13, I'm dealing with this. My whole life I'm dealing with this from seeing something like that. I don't know many people that ever seen anybody, depending on what age they are now, grown 60, 70 years old, have lived their whole life without actually having to see someone die like right in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know many people that have done it. I did it at 13. So that's a struggle that I deal with. It was like PTSD almost, like, you know.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like you grew up real fast. Like you shouldn't have been in a perfect world, you should have been able to be a boy for a while. And it seems like, you know what, not your option, which God bless you. You're not sitting there going, well, you know what, I'm going to complain about it.
Heck no.
No, but it looks like you
I'm
were
a
like,
success
I'm
story.
a man. Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I am.
I'm a man, and I'm a man at 10, and now at 13,
I see that.
I see some stuff, yeah.
That's something I struggle with daily. Because it's not a time when you really can close your eyes on. You don't see it.
Right.
You know? So, yeah. But I'm a success story. Don't feel sorry for me.
Oh, no, not at all.
Sorry for me.
What's one of your greatest regrets? If you even have any.
I would say I don't really have regrets. I would say there's things that I would like to have maybe apologized for.
Right.
Or maybe I could have handled with more gentle gloves or something like that. I truly believe anything that happens to you in life is meant to happen. And when that thing happens, something else is born from it. You learn something, or your path changes from right here to now here. Let's say I was great at this and I changed it. So now my path won't go this way. So I would say I don't really have any regrets. Everything happens for a reason, and something else was born or came from that one instance that possibly would have caused you some type of regret. And I don't want to regret this path because I'm regretting this path. So yeah, I don't really think I don't have no regrets.
What are 3 qualities that you admire most about yourself? 3 qualities of Jermaine that you admire most.
I want to say I admire my self-determination. I'm very determined. No matter what it is I'm trying to do, I'm determined to get the job done. No matter how daunting of tasks, I'm gonna be determined to get it done. I'm gonna say my resiliency. I've been through a lot. I could have folded a lot of times, but never folded. I'm resilient. I'm gonna stick in there. I'm gonna keep going. And I'm also gonna say my humility. I honestly feel like I could either drive the car or I can sit in the back seat. As long as we get into where I want to get to, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I like that.
I don't have to be in charge.
Right.
So those, my determination, resiliency, and humility.
Sounds like you're very goal-driven in a good way. Not possessed, but a goal-driven, like.
Very goal-driven. I would say earlier I was possessed, but now I do have my priorities in order.
Kids do that, or wife do that? Or just life?
Life does. Life does that. And sometimes no one can really tell you what you need to do. You actually need to go through it yourself for you to fully understand it, you know? Like my wife saying, hey, you working too much. Like, yeah, but we have bills and this and things like that. They need to be met. It takes you to be able to sit down and just sit and look around and rationalize something on your own to see it. Just like with like an addiction or something. Mm-hmm. You can't stop someone from being on drugs or whatever on their own. They actually have to want it for themselves. Right. So life, it made me see like, yo, this is what's important and this is what I need to value over this other thing. There's so many different avenues to make money and do things like that. Right. To be self-made, to be an entrepreneur. So many different things you can do, which I'm like now getting into that realm now. I'm at a point in my life, like I said, things are calm. And I'm starting to get into that realm right now that you can do to take care of your family without just being so on this rat race, like, you know? Right. So, yeah, life forces you sometime to sit down and realize what's important to you.
When we started this, my Dash story, it's basically like I have said before on other previous episodes, where it was the day you were born, Dash, and the day you die. Thank God you're not dead. But that dash in there holds so much life and that kind of stuff. And we never know how much of that life, your story and that kind of stuff you've seen and grown up and that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Like, it sounds like you became, right away, I have to be a leader, or that's just the way life is for me.
Yeah, forged.
Right. But there's so
No
much
choice.
to this life. It was so fascinating to me. And of course, your mother alone is like, a hero to me. It sounds like she's
Mine.
like,
Mine
yeah.
too. She was mine. Yeah.
So what would you want your epitaph to be on your grave?
Oh, this was easy. I would like to be known as a great father and a great husband. That's it. No matter all those accomplishments and things you do and you leave behind, that won't be as important or influential than you being for me, it's being a good father. I want to make sure I'm a good father to the kids I have, so generations can come from that and be born from that and be born from that. So I want to be known as a great father and a great husband.
He was a great father and a great husband.
He was a great father and a great husband. And that's what I like to be known for.
Oh, brother, this is great. I really enjoyed this. Thanks for joining us today, Jermaine. This was awesome, man. And if you like this episode, please subscribe and leave a comment. Please like it, because this is only going to get better, and I appreciate everything you did. And please, if your mother ever comes out with a book, you let me know.
Thank you, sir.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you so much.